China's invasion of Taiwan will cripple the entire global economy. Taiwan, formerly known as the Republic of China, is a small island off the southeast coast of the People's Republic of China. We all know that China, its neighbor to the east, has its sights set on invading Taiwan. What nobody exactly knows is when. But what we do know is that the Chinese government is highly unpredictable,
和外部势力干涉台湾事务的
has been ramping up its military, and that this invasion could happen much sooner than we think. What if China were to invade tomorrow? If this were to happen, nobody would be prepared. And this makes it no longer a localized issue for Taiwan, but rather a serious global threat that will impact millions. According to latest estimates, it will cost the global economy over $10 trillion and would easily become one of the largest, most devastating, and most costly conflicts of the 21st century, even more damaging to the economy than COVID was, all of which we'll cover in detail in this video. This war in the South China Sea would fracture global trade, plunge economies into depression, trigger political chaos, and escalate military tensions between global powers. The world as we know it would be forever changed. China views self-ruled Taiwan as a breakaway province that will eventually be under Beijing's control again, and it has not ruled out the use of force to take the island. Taiwan, on the other hand, sees itself as distinct from the Chinese mainland, with its own constitution and democratically elected leaders. And if you ask the United States, Germany, Japan, or any other nation heavily involved in trade with China, the picture becomes even more unclear. Officially, these countries adhere to the One China policy. This policy dictates that governments can establish diplomatic relations with either the People's Republic of China or Taipei's government based in Taiwan, but not both. China's increasingly aggressive behavior in the South China Sea, a major shipping route, has also made Taiwan more significant to US calculations. It also stands as a hub of technological innovation. Once relatively obscure in the global market, Taiwan has now, through its technological advancements, established itself as a fundamental pillar of the world economy. Today, much of the world's electronics, ranging from smartphones to electric cars, are powered by computer chips, almost all made in Taiwan. By one example, a single Taiwanese company, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, has over half of the world's market share in this area. So if China is successful in taking Taiwan, then China could be free to project its power in the Western Pacific and rival the US. And Beijing would also have direct control over an industry that drives the global economy. The United States remains Taiwan's strongest ally, supplies it with military arms, and has vowed to support and defend them in the event of a Chinese assault. However, further complicating the issue, Joe Biden reaffirmed the US does not support Taiwan independence. And this leaves Taiwan in a tricky spot. But Russia, also an ally of China, reaffirms its adherence to the One China principle, recognizes Taiwan as an inalienable part of China's territory, opposes any form of Taiwan independence, and firmly supports measures taken by China to safeguard its sovereignty and territorial integrity. So clearly, this isn't just a local issue isolated to China and Taiwan. Despite this, China is so serious about this invasion that they have put into motion the largest, fastest, and most comprehensive military buildup since World War II. US government estimates put the Chinese annual defense budget at around $700 billion. That is far higher than previous estimates, and almost on par with the United States' 2023 defense budget of just over $800 billion. And Taiwan has its own defense plans for when China invades. But given the size of Taiwan's military when compared to China, the question on everyone's minds is, will it be enough? A recent military analysis revealed that Taiwan is vulnerable to defeat by China within only 90 days of invasion. In this video, we'll cover what will be the full economic impact on the global economy when this Chinese Taiwan invasion happens. When exactly would China invade Taiwan? And why are the escalations happening now? How would the events unfold when China invades Taiwan? Would the US, Russia, or any global superpowers be pulled into war forced to intercede? And given the potential catastrophic consequences of an invasion, what diplomatic and peaceful avenues could be explored to resolve the tensions and ensure regional stability? We'll delve into these vital questions and also explore why Taiwan's situation is significant for everyone, including you and me. As tensions between China and Taiwan escalate, it's crucial to understand the underlying motivations driving China's planned invasion of Taiwan. Historically, Taiwan's strategic location and economic prowess have been alluring to China. But in the context of today's geopolitical landscape, Taiwan represents more than a mere territory to simply be acquired. You see, Taiwan is a key player in semiconductor manufacturing, crucial to the global tech industry. Companies like Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co. or TSMC dominate the production of advanced microchips, essential for a wide range of technology from smartphones to military equipment. The potential for military conflict over Taiwan raises concerns about significant disruptions to the global economy, particularly in the technology sector. Control over Taiwan would grant China significant leverage in global technological dominance. China would be able to easily cripple the economies of any countries by withholding this critical technology, dramatically impacting the global supply chain. The impact of a halt in production by major chip manufacturers like TSMC could be devastating to the global economy. This is not just about economic gain, but about a strategic edge in a technologically driven world. Beyond economic interests, China's desire to unify with Taiwan is fueled by a blend of national pride and political ideology. This ambition is part of rectifying historical grievances and asserting China's status as a global power. Reunification with Taiwan is seen within China as a pivotal step towards national rejuvenation, as echoed in statements from Chinese President Xi Jinping. It's obvious that a conflict over Taiwan could trigger significant economic disruptions with global consequences. Economic experts estimate that if China invades Taiwan, it would cost the world economy $10 trillion, equal to about 10% of global GDP, dwarfing the blow from the war in Ukraine, the COVID pandemic, and the global financial crisis. As mentioned earlier, Taiwan makes most of the world's advanced logic semiconductors and a lot of leading-edge chips as well. Globally, 5.6% of total value added comes from sectors using chips as direct inputs, nearly $6 trillion. Total market cap for the top 20 customers of chip giant Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company is around $7.4 trillion. And the Taiwan Strait is one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. In the case of a war, Taiwan's economy would be decimated with an estimated 40% decline to their GDP. With relations to major trade partners turned off and no access to advanced semiconductors, China's GDP would suffer an estimated 16.7% decline. For the US, further from the center of the action, but still with a lot at stake through the reliance of Apple on the Asian electronics supply chain, GDP would be down 6.7%. And for the world as a whole, GDP would be down 10.2%, with South Korea, Japan, and other East Asian economies most impacted. In the case of a blockade versus that of an all-out war, it would be as follows. For Taiwan, GDP in the first year would be down 12.2%. And for China, the US, and the world as a whole, GDP in the first year would be down 8.9%, 3.3%, and 5% respectively. The reason for the smaller impact compared to a war scenario stems from the fact that although the global economy would still lose access to all of Taiwan's chips, other shocks including tariffs between the US and its allies in China, the disruption to Asian shipping, and financial market fallout would be less severe. The South China Sea, a major shipping route, would likely become a hotspot in the event of a conflict. Blockades and disruptions in these waters could significantly impact global trade, affecting the transportation of a vast array of goods beyond just technology products. But when would all this actually happen? The timeline for a potential invasion by China is a topic of debate among military analysts. Some suggest the possibility of a swift, sudden attack designed to catch Taiwan and its allies off guard, aiming to minimize international intervention. Alternatively, China might incrementally escalate military tensions. This gradual approach could involve further increasing military exercises near Taiwan, cyber attacks, or economic attacks, building up to a full-scale invasion. The United States, as Taiwan's principal ally, would be under significant pressure to act. This could range from providing military aid to Taiwan to direct intervention, potentially leading to a direct military confrontation with China and even potentially Russia. Russia's support for the One China principle introduces another layer of complexity. Would Russia actively support China's actions, or would it adopt a more cautious stance? The role of other global powers, such as the European Union and Japan, is also crucial. They might engage through diplomatic channels, impose economic sanctions, or increase their military presence in the region as a deterrent. Nobody really knows. The question of Taiwan's readiness to defend itself from a Chinese invasion has become a pressing concern as tensions between the two sides escalate. From a scale and size military perspective, China's armed forces significantly overshadows that of Taiwan. China, after all, has the third largest military in the world, second only to the United States and Russia. It is important to note that together the US, Russia, and China make up the top 3 most powerful militaries in the world, with Russia being an ally of China. And since 2021, China has been testing the waters with increasing warplane incursions into Taiwan's air defense zone. But Taiwan itself remains largely unprepared for the worst-case scenario. Issues include the small size of Taiwan's military, its training, and the kind of weaponry being purchased, and China is all too aware of this. A recent military analysis revealed that Taiwan is vulnerable to defeat by China within just 90 days of invasion, and Taiwan's only hope would be to hold out long enough until the US or other allies came to its aid. In addressing the Taiwan conflict, finding diplomatic solutions is key, considering the high stakes involved. What do you think is a viable diplomatic solution that could appease both China and Taiwan? The heart of the issue lies in Taiwan's political status. Is there a possible compromise that could satisfy China's drive for reunification while maintaining Taiwan's autonomy? Economic partnerships and security guarantees might be on the negotiation table. How these elements are negotiated could pave the way for a peaceful coexistence that respects both parties' core interests. International organizations and major powers also have a critical role to play as mediators. They could propose frameworks that encourage peaceful coexistence between China and Taiwan, drawing on historical precedents and modern diplomatic tools. However, the willingness of China and Taiwan to engage in dialogue and make necessary concessions will be a determining factor in the success of these efforts. As tensions escalate between China and Taiwan, the looming question of a potential Chinese invasion draws global attention. With Taiwan's crucial role in the technology manufacturing supply chain and China's growing military might, the stakes are higher than ever for the entire international community. As we navigate through the intricacies of this geopolitical chess game, one thing is clear: the outcome will resonate across continents, impacting everything from global economy, trade, to the dynamics of international relations. But what are your thoughts on this? How and when do you think China will launch its assault on Taiwan? And how do you think the situation will unfold? In what ways could a conflict between China and Taiwan reshape the global economic landscape? And in your opinion, how should global powers influence the resolution of China-Taiwan tensions to prevent escalation and maintain peace? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We really hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it. Please do not hesitate to like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned for more captivating economic narratives. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video.